I turned Millwall into the most aggressive team in the world, Part 2. Staff appointments. Anyone who's ever built a dynasty on Football Manager will know that it's key to get the backroom staff right. I still want genuinely good staff, but prioritize anyone with high discipline. I considered whether the opposite might in fact work best, but really I want this place to be run like the Marines. I need to get the players to be willing to die for the cause. Yet again, Millwall's low reputation precedes us, with Duncan Ferguson, Roy Keane, Lee Bowyer, Joey Barton, Gennaro Gattuso, Kevin Muscat, and, most disappointingly, an unemployed Jens Lehmann all refusing to even talk to me. In desperation, I even tried to lure Mark van Bommel from his managerial role at PSV, but get nowhere. In the end, I still overhaul the entire staff department, albeit with less well-known grafters. Scott Fitzgerald, despite his opposition to many of the individual training regimes I've set the entirety of the playing staff on, keeps his job due to his high discipline. The director of football, however, is sacked. I am the boss here. Kick off. Preseason didn't go well, with only 9 yellow cards and no red cards in our 6 friendlies. Maybe the players need more of an edge to the games, and I make a mental note to arrange juicier fixtures next season. 7 straight games against Leeds United should get the team in the right frame of mind. Our season opener at home to Preston ends in a thrilling 3-3 draw, with new signing Kenji Van Bodo scoring a brace from left wing back. The fans go home elated, but I am less than impressed and tell the players this in no uncertain terms: only a single booking all game, and that from a substitute, Ben Thompson, is completely unacceptable. I consider changing tactics. Maybe the press is the wrong approach? But it's early days, and I instead only tweak a couple of player roles to help them combat the enemy further up the pitch. Against West Brom in the next match, things click for the first time, with 29 fouls committed and 5 bookings. We lose 3-0, but I go home happy. It's finally a step in the right direction, and proof that my methods can work. Geoghegan fouling. The next 3 games pose something of an existential question. We win all 3, including a 4-3 epic against Middlesbrough, committing a solid 81 fouls in total, but receive only a single booking. Is this what I want? Is a horrible 1-0 victory away at Fulham, with 26 fouls committed, in line with my philosophy if there are no bookings at all? I have no answer to this. Over the course of the first half of the season, things do improve with regard to the number of cards received, but I begin to realize that my players seemingly take it in turns to do niggly fouls that break the game up constantly, rather than the full-blooded assaults I desire. I christen this tactical style Geoghegan fouling. It will do for now, but it seems I've created a Mourinho-esque team of horrible little bastards rather than an all-action, hard-hitting team of Felipe Melas. In any case, I defend my players from any criticism of our style. Games of the season, so far. Against the baseline of Geoghegan fouling, there are occasions where everything comes together in a perfect display of vile anti-football. We get a tough draw in the League Cup away at Watford, the first opportunity to show the rest of the country what Millwall are all about, and my players seize the opportunity with both feet. Other notable games include a heroic home game against QPR, where we commit an incredible 39 fouls, receiving 3 bookings and a red card before understandably losing 2-0. This is followed by a record 7 yellow cards in a grueling 1-0 win at Huddersfield, leading to our first FA fine of the season for failure to control our players. If only the FA knew. I treat the fine as a trophy, as proof of our progress. I nail it above the tunnel for the players to touch as they walk past. The very next game we commit 26 fouls and hit 5 yellows, coming up 1 short of the 6 required for 2 disciplinary fines in succession. Perhaps the pinnacle of the season so far, however, comes against Nottingham Forest in what the media dub the Battle at the Denver. The timeline is a thing of beauty. The FA failed to understand, and hit us with another fine. Disappointingly, it's the same £5,000 as the first. Player development match days aren't everything. Player development is integral to what we're trying to do here at Millwall. I'm happy to see that a number of players buy into the philosophy and learn to dive into tackles. Naturally, not everyone is cut out for this type of football. Those who fail to adapt are disposed of. Meanwhile, progress in the mentoring groups is disappointingly slow. None of the youngsters have learned how to argue with officials or wind up opponents. I can only hope they pick up these vital skills sooner rather than later, as they are key to our future. Mid-season review. And with that, we reach the midpoint of the season. The figures make decent reading, with us well clear of the pack for fouls committed, but we are only narrowly ahead for bookings, and red cards have been depressingly elusive. It's a decent foundation to build upon, if nothing else, though considering the aggression levels and the philosophy behind the assembly of the squad, I know an improvement is needed. Bringing in additional shithouse players in January should help. Astonishingly, we also find ourselves challenging for a playoff spot. I have no idea how. Considering my primary objective is to foul, I am genuinely annoyed if we score a late winner rather than gain a sixth booking or a red card, or if we go more than 5 minutes without a foul. My least favorite game was genuinely a 3-0 thrashing of Stoke, including a Yeboah-like volley for debutant Billy Mitchell, but we received 0 cards. I hadn't considered for a second that we could challenge for promotion this season, or ever, but this presents a quandary of sorts. I shouldn't let the allure of the Premier League alter my footballing ideals, but even so, promotion would allow us to attract the likes of Derry Metal and Pepe to the club. In the end, I vow not to abandon my principles, and to try to commit more fouls even if this costs us our lofty league position. In the shorter term, with the January transfer window approaching, I can only hope that our playoff form can help convince key targets Scott Brown and Lee Cattermole to sign for us. A man can dream.